Ben Gallagher was a quiet man with a bruised heart and a routine as grey as the London sky. He worked at an antique clock repair shop, a fitting place for someone whose inner world felt frozen. He rarely smiled, and his co-workers had long given up on trying to break through the silence surrounding him. Time passed, but for Ben, it stood still. The pain began 5 years ago when his fiancée, Emily, died in a car accident just weeks before their wedding. Ever since, he lived like a ghost in his own life. Each ticking clock was a cruel reminder that life went on for others, while his world remained paused in sorrow. One rainy afternoon, while repairing an old grandfather clock tucked away in the shop's storage room, Ben found something unusual, a hidden compartment behind the pendulum. Inside was a small brass pocket watch, unlike any he had seen before. Intrigued, he wound it gently. The moment he clicked it shut, the rain outside stopped mid-air. A droplet hovered, suspended, inches from the window. The second hand on every clock froze. The street noise vanished. Time had stopped. At first, Ben panicked. He ran outside, watching cars halted mid-turn, people frozen in mid-stride, pigeons suspended mid-flight. For a full 5 minutes, he wandered through the quietest world imaginable, a moving soul in a still painting. Then, just as suddenly as it had paused, time resumed. The rain fell, traffic roared, and people moved as if nothing had happened. Shaken but curious, Ben took the watch home. Over the next few days, he experimented with the mechanism. He learned that each time he pressed the button at the top, time would freeze for exactly 5 minutes, and only he remained aware and able to move. What could a man do with 5 frozen minutes? Many would fantasize about stealing, spying, or selfish pleasures. But Ben used it to breathe. In those 5 minutes, he could sit in Hyde Park with birds frozen mid-flight and listen to the absence of sound. He could sketch a rose blooming in motionless perfection. He could write letters to Emily, ones he never sent but poured his healing into. One day, while sketching at a cafe, Ben saw her, Sharon Matthews. A painter who worked 3 tables away, selling watercolor portraits to passers-by. She had auburn curls tied messily, flecks of paint on her fingers, and a laugh that cracked through the clouds like sunlight. He watched her for days, not because of obsession, but because something about her presence stirred warmth he thought had long died. But Ben was shy. Socially rusty. Each time he tried to talk to her, he froze, without needing the watch. So he decided to use his 5 minutes each day to learn about her gently and respectfully. When time froze, he observed the things that made her smile. How she hummed when painting, the way she adjusted her easel, the colors she chose when painting children. He never touched her, never violated her space. He simply studied the colors of someone who had color inside them. And slowly, he began sketching her, not her body, but her essence. The way her smile turned upward when a child complimented her. The light in her eyes when she talked to elderly customers. The hope she carried in her brush. Ben used those 5 minutes a day not to take, but to understand. One day, while time ticked normally, he finally mustered the courage. "Hi, I've seen you paint here often," he began, voice shaking. "Would you mind if I sat nearby and sketched?" She smiled. "Not at all. As long as you don't draw me with devil horns." From that small moment, a friendship bloomed. Slowly, day by day, Ben began to thaw. Sharon spoke about her struggles, an alcoholic father, financial burdens, dreams of running her own art school for underprivileged children. Ben listened. For once, he wasn't hiding from life, he was living it. In the still moments of frozen time, he continued sketching, this time, not just Sharon, but the world around him. He'd help elderly women across frozen traffic lights. He'd pick up toppled strollers just before time resumed. He once saved a toddler from stepping into a moving street. In 5-minute miracles, he stitched together a silent legacy. One evening, Sharon was crying. Her father had been hospitalized after a violent relapse. The hospital demanded upfront payment. She didn't have it. Ben knew what he had to do. That night, he walked into the largest gallery in London during an opening. As time froze, he replaced 3 of the lesser artworks with his own, drawings of frozen kindness, a mother shielding her child in a storm, an old man feeding pigeons in midair, a young artist painting with fire in her eyes. Then he resumed time and slipped into the crowd. The next day, those drawings went viral. People called them ghost art. The gallery offered to buy all of Ben's work. But he refused the spotlight. He gave the money anonymously to Sharon. When she found out, her voice trembled. "I don't know who did this. But I feel like the universe noticed me." Ben smiled. For once, he didn't feel invisible. Months passed. Sharon grew stronger. Her father entered rehab. She launched her small art school, with anonymous funding. Ben quietly continued. Then, one morning, Ben noticed something. The pocket watch wouldn't tick. He wound it, clicked it, begged it, but time no longer paused. The power had left him. Panic gripped him for a moment. But then, he realized, he didn't need it anymore. He had healed. The man who once lived in frozen time had finally rejoined the world. That evening, Ben gave Sharon a framed sketch, a quiet piece he'd drawn long ago. In it, she stood in front of a blank canvas, smiling, while around her, the world paused, the wind halted, but she kept painting. She stared at it for a long time. "How did you?" Ben met her eyes. "There's something I never told you. Something strange, unbelievable, but it helped me become who I am." She took his hand. "You don't have to explain. Some things are better felt than understood." Epilogue. Years later, Ben taught at Sharon's art school. Together, they help children use art to heal from trauma, loss, and neglect. In one locked cabinet, hidden in a drawer, was an old brass watch, silent now, its power used and spent. It had never been a tool for conquest or desire. It had been a gift for transformation. And the man who once lived outside of time had finally learned what it meant to be truly present.